Cristian, what's this week like in training for you guys, and in what is an unprecedented time for the club?
Yeah, I think it's important to keep the level of training high. I still think that we have a lot to play for. We want to end the season on the right note. Um, Altogether, it's been a frustrating second half to the season, and we realize that as professionals, and we take ownership of what happened. But levels of training have to stay high, and we're already building to next year.
You mentioned the frustrating last few months. Looking at what happened, I mean, even after CONCACAF, including the final, you had a run of like 6 wins, 2 draws, and a loss, and then that turned in the months of July and August. What can you put your finger on? Maybe it was your injury as well, but what can you put your finger on of what wasn't working these last few months?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have been a combination of a lot of things. We all need to reflect on the level of play. Obviously, when you win a Champions League, when you win Champions League so early in the year, naturally, you feel like it's a successful season, and performances dip. We put a lot into it, so maybe fatigue became an issue where the second half of the year. I think a combination of a lot of things. Injuries happen, and all that stuff is part of football, and you have to embrace that challenge. And we tried to, and unfortunately it didn't go our way. But I think a combination of things that hurt us in the end, and bit us in the butt.
You obviously talked to, everybody did after winning CONCACAF of not resting on the laurels, right? But how much human nature comes in with that, where inevitably maybe that does happen a little bit?
Yeah, you're on cloud 9 once you win a championship, right? And when you win a championship, it's usually at the end of the year, and you're celebrating, and we had this conversation where if you were to win Champions League right now and you don't make the playoffs, do people think that it was a successful season, right? And that it's fair to say, but in the end, we put a lot of effort into the Champions League, and it's frustrating to not make the playoffs. But I felt like all the emotions, all the motivation, all of that kind of was put into Champions League, and I'm not saying that we didn't make the playoffs because of that, but I'm sure that had to do with it.
Do you think it was a successful season?
I haven't reflected on that. It's hard for me to give you a pinpoint answer. It's been 3 days since we essentially have been out of the playoffs, but what I will say is that we've been in every game, man, and it's been a really frustrating year in that sense, because we never felt that we got blown out. We never felt that we were played off the field, and I think that's one of the most frustrating things, because we were in every single game, and to lose so many games by one goal is really frustrating in the end. You get a couple more ties here and there. You're in the playoffs, and we're not talking about this.
Cristian, winning is addictive, but winning is also difficult. What are some of the lessons that you guys have taken from such a challenging season that will allow you to continue that tradition of winning that you have at this club?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to stay motivated throughout the year, right? You can't go, through spells the way we did. We were on highs, we were on lows. And it's about riding the momentum, right? I've always said that if you can stay steady Eddie within the league, you'll make the playoffs. And unfortunately, the lows were really low, and we kept, we couldn't get out of it. We couldn't dig ourselves out of it. So I think that's what we need to take away. Not be too high when we're winning, not be too low when we're losing. So remain calm, and it's a long season.
Well, within that same answer, though, you guys are a roster full of veterans. Isn't that something that you guys should have already been accustomed to?
Yeah, but I don't think we've been low too many times in our careers, right? Here with the Sounders, for me, we've always found a way to dig ourselves out, and I think I've been here for 8 years. Maybe 4 of those we were below the playoff line, for half the year, and we always found a way to dig ourselves out. So that's something I think that we have to carry on to next year, where we can't just rely on pure talent. We have to come together as a team and get ourselves out of it.
Cristian, going back to what Jackson was saying and everything you guys had to endure throughout the year that could have affected the team, the loss of Pineda and Traore was ironically close to a lot of those injuries. How hard was it to, learn or adapt to not having those guys here?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about continuity a lot at this club. You see the spine of our club has guys that have been here for a long time. We talk about Nico, myself, Jao, Jordan, who's on the wing now, Raul, who's been here for a while. Continuity is important in this club, and it's seriously our backbone. It's literally our backbone. And Gonzo and Jimbo, we're players here and they understand the MLS, and so yeah, losing them for sure hurt us at the beginning of the year, no doubt about it. They brought a lot to the coaching staff, they brought a lot to our team, but again, I think I can't pinpoint one thing that was the reason that we didn't make the playoffs. I think it was a bunch of different things.
So at the post conference, Nico mentioned some of the things that maybe were done across the club level. Is there anything that you think from a managerial standpoint or, beyond that maybe could have been done differently?
I think winning, we talk about, putting Band-Aids over things when you win. You put a lot of Band-Aids over things and you don't really address everything, right? In a film session, when we win a game, maybe we don't address that many negatives, because that's just the nature of the group, right? You don't want to bring the team down when you're winning, and that's it's an interesting comment because it's very honest, and I think that's what we need to do. Be honest with ourselves and reflect on what we did right, what we did wrong, and address them and move on. This is the time, especially when you're out of the playoffs, when you're not fighting for a championship, to address those problems and figure those out going into next year.